In this lesson, we're going to look at some application problems that involve multiplying fractions. Ultimately, they will not be separated out so that you know a lesson is about multiplication or you know a lesson is about division, but it is helpful to focus on just one operation at a time. So let's take a look and notice that in application problems involving fractions, the word of means multiplication. So kind of keep that in mind. And one other topic, many problems that can be solved by multiplying fractions can be thought of in terms of a rectangular array, where you might talk about rows and columns, and to find out how many you would multiply. So those are two different things that might be helpful as we look at some of these problems. All right, let's take a look at this one. I paused for a minute because I was afraid that part of the question was not being videoed. All right, let's take a look, and it says, it takes 5/3 of a yard of ribbon to make a hair bow. How much ribbon is needed to make 7 bows? So one of them takes 5/3, the next one takes 5/3, and we need to make 7 of them. So we need 7 of those 5/3. So I'm going to multiply. To do that, I'm going to write the 7 as 7 over 1 times 5 over 3. Multiply the tops for 35. Multiply the bottoms for 3. It takes 35/3 yards of ribbon to make those bows. And I know that later we will change that to a mixed number, but for right now we're going to leave it improper. The yards is already in the answer statement, so you don't have to put the units. All right, let's take a look at number 2. It says 1 out of 32 high school ball players will play college ball. So out of 32 high school players, 1 will get to play college ball. That is 1 out of 32. That's the fraction that represents how many from high school will play college ball. Out of the ones that are playing college ball, out of 33 of them, 1 out of 33 college players plays professional ball. What fraction of the high school plays professional ball? So this is your college players that have come from high school. 1 out of 33 of those is going to play college ball, a professional ball. So it is the product. 1 out of 33 out of 1 out of 32 are going to play this professional ball. So I'm going to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. The denominator, I'm going to go off to the side. I have 33 times 32. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Put in your 0. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply for 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. Carry the 1. That means 1,056. That means that of the high school players, 1 out of every 1,056 players might go on to play professional ball. It is not very likely. Let's look at number 3. It says 3/5, and I'll write that down in fraction form. 3/5 of all municipal waste is landfill, meaning things that they can actually go throw into a big old pit. 1/10 of this landfill, 1/10 of this is landfill trimmings. What fraction part of the municipal waste is landfill trimmings that are landfill? Okay, even though I'm not quite sure about landfill trimmings, it is 3/5 is how much municipal waste is landfilled. 1/10 of this is the trimmings. So I'm going to multiply this by 1/10. 1/10 of 3/5. 3 times 1, whoops. 3 times 1 gives me 3, and 5 times 10 gives me 50. 3/50ths. Now we're going to look at the kind of problems that are arrays or a rectangular arrangement. It says the floor of a room is being kept covered in tile. An area 1/4 of the length and 3/5 of the width is covered. Find the fraction of the floor that has been covered. Okay, so a part of the floor. Here's the whole floor, and 1/4 of the length, so if this is my length all across here, 1/4 of it, that doesn't look much like 1/4, but 1/4 of it will be tile, and 3/5 of the width, in other words, a section like this, that is 1/4 of the length and 3/5 of the width. And it wants to know the fraction that is being covered. In other words, that's area. So the area is the length, the new length, times the new width. So it is 1/4 times 3/5. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 5 is 20. So 3/20ths of this floor is getting covered. I don't have an accurate picture, but it gave you an idea. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. The floor of a room is being covered with tile. An area 3/5 of the length and 3/4 of the width is covered. Find the fraction that has been covered. How much has been done? Well, area is length times width. It is 3/5 of the length times 3/4 of the width. I multiply 3 times 3 for 9, and 5 times 4 for 20. So these are just a few examples of when we multiply to solve an application problem.